So the unrealistic metrics that a lot of these jobs have, like when you hire in for a job and you look at the title, and then from the title you look at all of the work requirements, all of the expectations that they have for you in this position. And when you look at all of the tasks, and keep in mind, you know how they're always like, and this isn't the entire task. There's going to be additional tasks asked upon you that they're not going to include in the actual job description. And when there are updates, additions, that's still not going to be like, it's not going to come with additional pay. And this is something, one of the reasons why, for me, I used to be, the way I was raised, I was always raised with the notion that being salary was the best thing to be. You know, and how being salaried basically was like, that's how you knew you were making good money. It was that you were salaried. That's how I was raised. And I'm here to tell you, that's a crock of baloney. Like, to me, now looking at what I've experienced and knowing what I know, salary is a ripoff. Because you're not being paid. So there's no incentive for anybody to be working over 40 hours when they're not going to be paid. And when you look at a lot of these job requirements and metrics, okay, all of the responsibilities that are under that job role, that job title, it's way more than 40 hours worth of work. And I don't know for you, but I know for me in my positions and roles, and I know a lot of other people that are dealing with the same thing. In my positions and roles, one of the things that ticks me off too is they will just keep unloading work on you, and you're not being paid. You're already not being paid well. Like, let's understand, most of us are grossly underpaid, and our wages and salaries do not reflect the cost of living at all. Our wages and salaries don't even take inflation at all. And think about it, we don't get cost of living adjustments at a lot of our jobs. There's no yearly COLA. You know what I'm saying? Cost of living adjustments. The acronym COLA, COLA. There's no COLA for most of us. We're getting the same low and stagnant wages and salaries year after year after year after year. And a lot of times when you first come to that new job, that is going to be the largest pay increase you're going to see with that job. It just needs to be said. There's not going to be another decent pay increase if you stay there. It just needs to be said. Like, a lot of us find that out. Like, a lot of us find that out. Like, when you first start the job, that's probably going to be the best wage salary increase you're going to have at that employer. And then the coming years, you're either not going to get a raise, or the raises are going to be so small and minute that you're not going to even be able to tell that you got a raise. And what I mean by that is, we're talking about merit raises of 3% in 2025. So if you get a 3% merit increase, and you get $100. And I say you get $100 an hour, which would be beautiful, but most of us don't get $100 an hour. But say you got $100 an hour. That merit raise would be $3 extra. So you get $103 an hour now. 3%. So you see how going from 100 to 103 is really not going to be much of a difference. However, most of us would love to make $100 an hour, would love to make 103. That's darn near an $80 an hour increase for me. That would be life-changing. So, but the point is 3%. So I got a 3% raise last year. And that basically gave me almost a little under $1,500 extra for the year. Remember, it's $1,500 extra spread out over 12 months. And this is after taxes and deductions have been removed. Because we don't make our gross pay. We get our net pay after taxes and deductions have been removed. So when you look at it from that standpoint, that's not a raise. You're not getting shit. So like I said, typically when you first get hired in, that's going to be the largest raise that you're going to get. But as time goes on, you're going to notice they slowly but surely start revving up the engine on you. What do you mean, revving up the engine? What do you mean? They're going to start slowly but surely increasing your workload. And when you look at a lot of the descriptions, even prior to you accepting the job, the descriptions are already unrealistic. A lot of us have we have a job title, but we have multiple job roles under that job title. And a lot of times your title doesn't reflect the cost or like your pay. Because I don't understand how we are coordinators, managers, supervisors, and we're not being paid like we're coordinators, managers, supervisors. Okay, and this is kind of going back to what millennial steam, pencil poetry, deconstructing narcissism, and many others have said. What's the point of these titles if you're not going to be paid like that title? We are literally coordinating for 10 different counties. And each person has well over 100 plus clients. Okay, I went from 98 to 132 and will be getting pushed closer to 150 soon. Spread across 10 counties. You're the coordinator, but you're not being paid like you're a coordinator. You're struggling just as much as the people you're supposed to be helping. You're struggling just as much as the people you're supposed to be helping. How is that beneficial?